Have you ever walked into a place that feels alive, where every creak, every whisper, every shadow seems to be watching you? Tonight, join me as we unravel the chilling mystery of an old mansion, long forgotten by time, or was it? Strange noises, unexplained figures, and a dark secret that won't stay buried. What happens when curiosity pushes you too far into the unknown? Will the answers you seek lead to salvation, or something far worse? Stay with me till the end, because this is one story you won't be able to forget. The night was thick with tension. The streets were deserted, save for the faint hum of the wind scraping through the empty alleys. At the edge of town, an old, crumbling mansion stood, abandoned for years. Eva, a curious young journalist, had heard rumors about it. Whispers of lights flickering, strange noises, and shadows that moved when no one was around. She needed to know if it was true. With her camera in hand, she approached the mansion. The wind picked up, almost as if warning her. She stood at the rusted gate, hesitating for a moment before pushing it open. The hinges screamed in protest, slicing through the night's silence. As she stepped onto the grounds, a chill ran down her spine. The mansion loomed before her, dark and foreboding. The door was ajar, as if inviting her inside. She pushed it open slowly, the sound of the creaking would echoing in the stillness. The interior was dark, dusty, and decaying. Eva flicked on her flashlight, its beam slicing through the darkness. The walls were lined with peeling wallpaper, the staircase at the far end of the room broken and twisted. As she ventured deeper, an unsettling sensation washed over her. It felt as if someone or something was watching her. The floorboards creaked under her weight, and the sound echoed in the empty hallways. Her heart began to race as she moved forward, glancing over her shoulder at every turn, but no one was there. Suddenly, a door slammed shut somewhere in the distance, followed by muffled footsteps. Eva froze, her breath catching in her throat. She called out, "Hello," but there was no answer. The footsteps continued, drawing closer, and Eva's pulse quickened. She turned a corner and found herself in a long hallway. The walls were adorned with portraits, their eyes following her every move. She quickened her pace, her breath shallow, the tension in the air thickening with each step. As she reached the end of the hallway, her flashlight flickered, and for a brief moment, everything went dark. When the light returned, she saw a figure standing at the far end of the corridor. Its face was hidden in the shadows. Eva's heart raced, and she backed away slowly. The figure didn't move. It stood still, as if waiting for her. She spun around to run, but her foot caught on something, sending her crashing to the floor. The flashlight flew from her hand, rolling across the ground and casting erratic shadows across the room. Eva scrambled to her feet, but the footsteps of the figure were now pounding louder than ever, getting closer with every passing second. In a panic, she grabbed the flashlight and bolted toward the nearest exit. But the mansion seemed to stretch on forever. Hallways twisted and turned in impossible ways. She couldn't find the door she had entered through. The figure was gaining on her, its footsteps now a rhythmic pounding in her ears. She rushed through another door, only to find herself in a room filled with old furniture, covered in white sheets. But she wasn't alone. In the corner, a dark silhouette stood motionless, watching her. Eva screamed, but her voice was cut short when something cold wrapped around her wrist. The figure yanked her toward it, and she spun around to face her captor. But what she saw wasn't human. It was something far worse. Its face was distorted, hollow eyes wide, a twisted grin stretching unnaturally across its face. Before she could react, the room seemed to collapse around her, the walls closing in, the floor turning to dust. The mansion, once a place of eerie silence, now roared with whispers and screams. Eva felt her consciousness slipping away as the world around her faded into darkness. And then, everything went still. The whispers stopped. The footsteps ceased. Eva was alone, but the mansion was not empty. Something was still there, watching, waiting for the next curious soul to wander in. The camera slipped from her grasp, the screen went black, The whispers began again, but this time, they were calling her name.